Hey, greetings everybody. Welcome to part 2 of our Avengers Infinity War discussion. This is going to be more of a review. We're talking about the problems and go into spoiler territory.
That's right, man. So if you haven't seen it, please step off.
Alright, well, let's be a little more nicer to the people, the good fans and friends who watched our animal antics throughout the years and are watching it now. Yes, thank you for joining us. We'll be talking about the spoilers, our favorite scenes, more like questions and problems we have. I mean, it's a great movie. We both loved it.
Ha, so many questions though. Like, what happened to some of your favorite characters that were in other movies? What happened to them?
Alright, yes, exactly. Some of those questions will be answered, so stick with us here. I, of course, am Rata, the furry king of awesome.
Yeah, man, and I'm Trevor, the stoner T-Rex.
So now we're going to get into some of the spoilers. We're entering spoiler territory.
Yeah, we're fully in there, man. We're going to explain some of the issues we had, what's to come later on with Avengers 4, you can expect. Because, well, if you haven't heard, dude, it's got the most insane fucking ending that we've ever seen in a superhero movie.
Exactly, and we have some problems with that.
So being number 2 on your awesome summer spectacular list, the hype was strong with you, wasn't it?
Oh man, the hype was above the roof. You know, we were so excited for any Marvel movie to come out, especially one that has all of our favorite heroes, and finally Thanos being a formidable villain. Of course, we were so hyped, and I'm glad it lived up to the hype and maybe even a little bit more. Going into it, we were a little bit afraid. Are there too many characters?
Yeah, man, that was a little bit of the problem with Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. A few times, a little bit too much action. It's like, oh, sensory overload here with all the characters on screen at once fighting.
Yeah, but this one, they spread it out so well.
They kind of split them up into 3 different teams. You got Team Iron Man, which kind of grows as it goes along. Starts out with Spider-Man aboard the alien ship and trying to find Thanos because he's a major threat. You got Doctor Strange they meet upon there. Nebula becomes part of that. Mantis as well. Half the Guardians. Star-Lord and Gamora and Drax.
Wow.
That was probably my favorite team because I love the Guardians. I love seeing Tony interact.
Yeah, man, that was a really good one. We also have Team Thor, where the rest of the Guardians, which include Rocket Raccoon and Groot, meet up with Peter Dinklage as a giant dwarf. That was kind of funny casting, right?
A little bit on the nose, I'll give you that, but I thought it was good enough for a chuckle there. Although there's no other dwarfs around it, so you get kind of shortchanged that way. But yeah, they're trying to get Stormbreaker, the new Mjolnir, for Thor. They need this weapon to kill Thanos, or at least have a shot at it. And then you also have Team Captain America, which basically is the rest of them. You got Bucky, Black Widow, Hulk, or Bruce Banner in this one, Black Panther, all his tribes, including M'Baku and Okoye, and his sister Shuri, also Vision and Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and War Machine.
That's a lot of characters, man.
It is, and they really made it so well. They have the whole Wakanda landscape to fight in. This is the part where they're fighting the blue Goro monsters. At first they keep them away with a shield and they have to let them go. That was clearly one of our favorite fights, but not our favorites. What was yours?
I gotta give props to the Squidward guy. I think his name is Ebony Maw. He was so awesome, dude. He was a VIP for sure in the first half of the movie. And when he's fighting Iron Man in the park, that's probably my favorite one.
That was great. I also really enjoyed that guy, Ebony Maw. He's part of the Black Order, which is Thanos' crew gang. And they are actually very impressive as well. They have a lot of good powers, very strong. They really didn't go into them very much. I wish they got a little bit more character development out of them. Our favorites was Team Iron Man when they're on Thanos' planet and they're trying to get the gauntlet out. I mean, I thought that was such a well-executed plan. It was very engaging. Everybody had their own thing. Mantis was putting them to sleep. Spider-Man messing around with them, and Iron Man and him were trying to get the gauntlet off. I think Doctor Strange was trying to hypnotize them or doing some spells and stuff. Everybody had their own part to play. And then, of course, Star-Lord just fucks it all up.
Yeah, man, Star-Lord basically did ruin the whole plan. I mean, he's just such a hothead, you know?
But that's why we like the Guardians. I get that. They're hotheads, they're impetuous, they're immature, they like to fight. But for this one, it's like, come on, can you give it a break for a second while we can beat this guy and you can interrogate him or kill him later on? Really, the one you get the most character development is of Thanos. That's why we say basically it's his movie. Think about it. He has the most arc. He has the most clearest mission to understand, and the Avengers are there to stop him or get in the way. But if you think about it from his point of view, he's the hero of the story.
Yeah, man, he's just trying to make the world a better place.
Yes, but he's doing it by trying to crush half of the world, so the rest of them can live in harmony with less resources or something.
Yeah, it's a little bit suspect of what he's really talking about, if it's really going to work. We're not really sure his motives are true.
Exactly, it really doesn't go into that. In the comics, he's a much darker character. He's doing it for the love of death and personification. Lady or Mistress Death is someone he falls in love with, kill everybody to impress her. He's also very much of a self-saboteur. He's a destructive in nature. I wish he kind of went a little bit more into that. They're kind of trying to make him a better guy and this one more sympathetic.
Easing up on the evilness of him. Maybe they're saving it for later on, but he's a well-rounded character, man.
He really cares for his young daughter, especially Gamora. Nebula, not so much. Gamora, he really cares for, and as you can see it when he needs to get that Soul Stone. I knew immediately he loved her, and that was what he was going to have to sacrifice, but Gamora didn't think so.
Yeah, that wasn't really a shock for me. I gotta see one of the shocks was having Red Skull coming up over there, huh?
Yeah, that was a big surprise. One of the biggest surprises of the whole movie. Apparently he was zapped out of there from Captain America, the first Avenger, and that's where he landed. He got sucked into the Space Stone. Somehow he finagled himself into being the ruler or the guide of the Soul Stone. And I believe Soul Stone will have a big part in Avengers 4. Another thing that really impressed me, it's a massively directed movie with amazing shots and action, but it really has equal parts humor, action, and pathos. I mean, it really is some heavy, emotional stuff there, but some really funny, lighthearted moments. That's what's great about Marvel, huh?
Yeah, man, I'm glad it's not like all doom and gloom like a lot of those DC movies. Not to bag on DC so much. I mean, we dig some of their stuff. We love Batman. But, generally they don't make anywhere in the same kind of quality of a movie as Marvel does.
They have a problem over there at DC, and hopefully they'll get it fixed eventually. As you can see, some of our favorite Marvel movies in the back here, we love them, and they're always very entertaining, not only in the action level, but comedically. These are likable, charismatic characters, like Iron Man and Star-Lord, and even someone like Doctor Strange has his moments of levity, and Thor as well, as he saw in the entire comedy of Thor Ragnarok. They put comedy as one of their staples in their movies, and we really appreciate that. What else really impressed you about this one?
Dude, besides the amazing action, the landscapes, I mean, it's so beautiful. Dude, it blows you away.
They shot this thing entirely in IMAX cameras, and you can really see it.
Also, I loved how they had so many of the minor characters to pop in for a little cameo here and there.
Yes, Ned from Spider-Man. They had Pepper Potts, Iron Man, of course. Who else did they have?
Let's see, man. They had Wong, Doctor Strange's friend, fellow magician, Collector pop up there for a little bit, Benicio del Toro's character. Kind of bummed they didn't have the Grand Maester, Jeff Goldblum's character from Ragnarok, but they had a lot. They even had William Hurt's character pop in there for a while. I think he's a general or something, or Secretary of State. Seeing it the second or third time, which again, I would recommend because there's so much packed in this movie, so many characters. Any current scene, there's going to be things you miss, and I also recommend you watching videos to see all the Easter eggs and references. And you can see some of our friends, like New Rock Stars or Screen Junkies, they do a great job. Screen Rant, Mr. Sunday Movies. Those are some of our favorite YouTube reviewers, and they do a phenomenal job, more than we could ever do, pointing out all the different Easter eggs and show you how it corresponds to its comic book. Just go see some of those and learn you something. Alright, my friend, now let's get into some of our problems with it. There were some serious issues we had, not plot holes, but it makes you ask a lot of questions. So let's start with this big riddle of the Asgardian ship. Now, at the end of Thor Ragnarok, you see some of the main characters, including new ones, all in the ship that gets taken over by Thanos at the very end. And here, you only see Heimdall, Loki, Thor, and Hulk.
They have a big fight, which kills Heimdall and Loki. They are one of the few to die in this movie that will not be coming back. And all sources that we found claim this to be true as well. Well, my question is, where is Korg, his friend with the scissor hands, and Valkyrie? It seemed like Valkyrie is being a real, major part, helping the good guys, and she and Korg, another one of my favorites, nowhere to be found. So how can you explain this?
I didn't even think about that. You're right, dude. They are totally missing, and what happened to them?
You got a small mention that half of the Asgardians are not there or something. Maybe they got away on some escape pods, but they gotta show that. I mean, come on. They can't just leave this stuff hanging. They were literally in the last scene of the other movie.
Dude, I'll tell you another issue I had. My fellow green guy, the Hulk, dude, what was up with him? He wasn't in there at all.
I know that was a little bit of a letdown. We do get to see him in that first scene where he's fighting Thanos. I guess he gets his ass kicked so much, doesn't want to come out the rest of the time.
Yeah, man, it's like Bruce couldn't get it up.
Exactly, he had performance issues. He couldn't get the Hulk to come out and play and fight when they really needed it. That was a bit of a cop-out, I think. I don't know why they're really saving him so much. I really hope they pay that off in Avengers 4 and have a lot more Hulk action. I even going to point out to you this scene right here where you see Hulk charging Wakanda. Not in the fucking movie. How can they lie to us like that in the trailers?
That goes beyond showing in a trailer like a scene that's not in the movie. That's a scene that's in the movie where the character was changed from a Hulkbuster outfit to the Hulk.
That's like false advertising, right? I gotta say shame on you, Marvel, for that. Another question I have is, how does Thanos know where all the Infinity Stones are?
But I guess he's been just keeping tabs on it, like he's been watching from afar. He had Loki try to get the Space Stone and Avengers. Guess he's got a lot of guys working for him, just keeping him informed where they are.
Since we know homing beacon on them, he's got like Infinity Stone radar or something. That's a little bit of a nitpick. Alright. So I think the biggest plot hole we have yet to discuss is the limitations of Doctor Strange's powers.
You mean the time stone, dude? Why didn't you use it?
Why, indeed. In his solo movie, he puts a time loop on Dormammu, a demigod or a god, a villain, some kind of crazy space creature. Forever and ever, he gets killed a few times, but then Dormammu just kind of gives up. Why didn't he try that on Thanos?
Yeah, man, at least try. I mean, Thanos is not a god. He wouldn't be able to continue his plan that way. It's a good idea. He should have tried it.
Yeah, so I think the Time Stone was vastly underused. Even if he didn't want to do a time loop, at least pull back some of the events where they're losing and reverse it. I understand that he went to the 14 million futures.
Are we to believe that only one way was possible? Like nothing else could work in the slightest? Like that's a bit of a cop-out, right?
Definitely agree with you there. It's like, okay, couldn't some of these things work half the time? Does that mean that if you ever put them in a time loop and use a time stone to reverse time to a problem or something, that never this plan will work? Okay, maybe not fully, but parts of it will work, right?
Yeah, it just seems like, the time travel thing, it's a tough thing to do writing-wise, so they didn't want to use it too much.
Yeah, I guess I see that. Doctor Strange has these cool powers where he can just make these portals appear and disappear. As you saw before, he cut Kal Obsidian's hand off. Why didn't you do that with Thanos?
Yeah, man, it's much easier to get this Infinity Gauntlet off when it's not connected to a body, right?
You could even decapitate him. He definitely can't fight back when he's dead, right? I mean, Doctor Strange was underutilized, I feel like, and they kind of used that notion that, we explain it away with saying he looked at 14 million different futures or alternate realities and none of these worked. Come on.
Yeah, the same could be said, like, why don't you just stab him in the neck or cut his throat or something when he's under the spell, when he's in a trance?
Mm-hmm. He's completely incapacitated, he's mouthing some things subconsciously, but yes, you could stab him, behead him, kill this motherfucker, he's trying to destroy the world.
Yeah, in real life that of course would happen, but they're trying to make the Avengers be the ultimate good guys. They don't kill without provocation.
Well, there's plenty of provocation. He's trying to wipe off half the planet.
I don't know why you're yelling at me, man. I totally agree with you, dude. Yeah, I was wondering while I was watching, why is Gamora willingly go to nowhere, where the Collector's at, in search of Thanos? She's trying to keep away from him, right?
That didn't make any sense at all. She's got this big secret. She knows where the Soul Stone is. Clearly, get the fuck away from him. Stay far away on the other side of the galaxy. Go with Team Thor and stay away from Daddy.
Remember that time when Thanos said, "I know you," to Tony Stark? What was that about? How does he know him?
That's not really explained. I think maybe it's just because Tony Stark's the one who went up into the sky and dropped a bomb, stopped the portal with the space cube in Avengers. He was like, "Hey, who's that? The guy, the human who stopped all my plans here on Earth and ruined me getting that space stone." And then one of his underlings is like, "Oh, this guy is Tony Stark. He's a big billionaire. Oh yeah, he's also Iron Man. He's part of the Avengers." And they're probably going to be in your way when they're trying to get the Infinity Stones. Well, hopefully we shed some light on that. I know we didn't give all the answers. We have more questions. It's kind of some potholes, some things that maybe will be answered in Avengers 4. We're very excited about. Comment below what you think some of your questions are, and we'll get back to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Please continue to watch our videos. We've got new ones every week for our awesome Summer Movie Spectacular 2018. Some really exciting movies on that list, and there'll be much shorter videos, I can assure you. Well, thank you very much for joining us again. Check out our social media sites. We are everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Stardust for the newest reviews. Only 30-second reviews there. Very easy to see and love.
Yeah, man. Join us for part 3 of our Avengers Infinity War review, where we talk about that shocking ending.
That's right. Big things going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we're going to be talking about that and what the future holds for them. More problems with the ending. We have many more questions that we want answered, and maybe you have them as well.
Alright, man, let's do it to it.
Now, go forth and be awesome!